The whole idea of the fourth turn is that there are reoccurring cycles of history. We are in this cycle. The first step is never necessarily a positive one. It's a difficult one. You're changing everything that's familiar. You're changing everything that you're used to, but you're not getting any benefit out of it initially. But it is necessary. It's a necessary step. The second change is the actual change of value. And you go from a negative state to a positive state. And then from there, you go back, and it's a change of structure again. But if you start at high structure, you return to state high structure. You turn to state high structure with things that have been changed at profound level. These are cycles I've been studying for a long time. I first kind of heard about them in an educational context. The theory that I was supposed to was this idea that if you have a school that things are in chaos, the first thing you do is you change the structure. You move to a very structured system with a lot of rules. And initially that doesn't solve the problem. It just makes people miserable because they have a lot of rules. But once the rules are in place, it kind of allows people to understand, they get past the chaos, and then they can gain an internal order. And eventually then you can lift the rules, lift the restrictions, and people can live in a state of freedom because they have this internal order. Another reconstructive cycle is the hero's journey. Hero's journey is a very famous set of stories, and it's the idea is that somebody starts on the ordinary world, they pass into this underworld where things are very different. Initially things are not good. Eventually they find what's called the elixir, which is kind of this magic potion that makes everything better. And then they bring it back to the ordinary world. And it's a very common structure for stories, and I believe that the reason it's so common is it's describing this kind of cycle. And I think this kind of cycle is a very important cycle for changing things. I talked a little bit, again, a couple sessions ago about the cycle of philosophers. There are really four kinds of philosophers. The first kind of philosopher just asks questions, and they take people from high structure to low structure. They break down the preconceptions people have. The second kind of philosopher is the mystical philosopher. And they're the ones who really look to find kind of the real deep truths. And then there are the system builders, and system builders take those truths and they use those to build a new system. There's also a social theory called the fourth turning. It was written quite a while ago, but people began to feel it was predicting current events. And